Merci à toute l'équipe pour l'avoir fait possible de venir de Londres à Bruxelles pour la première fois, d'être à côté de Textiles Recycling Expo. We're going to carry on in English, given that's the language that most of our audience have in common. But I would like to thank everyone coming from many European countries who continuously make an effort switching to English whenever they are speaking on our seminar series and talking about sustainability in general. So thank you for always making that effort. It's very much appreciated. So moving the Future Fabrics Expo from London to Brussels. A surprise to many of you, but then again, why not, when a great opportunity presents itself? Going alongside Textiles Recycling Expo and creating more momentum, driving sustainability and innovation in textiles and beyond. As we call it, and as you see everywhere at Future Fabrics Expo, it's all about the materials revolution, as we refer to it. So in fact, over half of our visitors are from EU countries, and the majority of our exhibitors are also from outside Great Britain. So it makes sense. Essentially, we are coming and moving closer to you who are based on the European continent. So thank you for those who traveled here today. It's much appreciated to follow us around. And it has been quite the effort to be here and to move everything from London to Brussels. But it seems to be a success, and it's been given much great feedback so far. Besides, there is much talk in our community about collaborating. And for us, collaboration means with Textiles Recycling Expo, being here under one roof with them. But we're staying completely separate organizations, but collaboration, as we all know, is key to move forward and drive sustainability. So we are basically walking the talk. It's almost exactly a year ago since the last Future Fabrics Expo took place. And who would have thought a year later we find ourselves with geopolitical tensions and wars that disrupt and upend supply chains, intensify price volatilities, drastically reduce availability of raw materials and necessary inputs, highlighting unhealthy dependencies on the fossil fuel economy and industry. We are in an extreme heat wave, as they call it today on the news, and we all now feel what that really means, working under extreme heat, which is only going to intensify for people working in the supply chain for fashion and textiles. It really has hit home, and I think we all feel it, that change is needed, which is what we're all about at Future Fabrics Expo since 2011, I might say with great pride, and thanks to the team who's been with us for so many years and making it possible. So with all these tensions recently in the last 6 months, and these uncertainties and tensions as we all feel it, we all feel sometimes a bit gloomy, and it has been in the press somewhat negative over the last year, shall we say, sometimes on sustainability. However, at this Future Fabrics Expo, again, we feel different about that. We feel upbeat. Look around to over 100 exhibitors and innovators here at Future Fabrics Expo 2026. The thousands of materials on display. Now, don't they look like the smart alternative and like the smart choice, given the political uncertainties and shocks to the supply chain? All of a sudden, these innovations, sustainable alternatives, are actually the reliable choice with their raw materials grown and farmed without relying on synthetic fertilizers, not made from fossil fuels. Doesn't it appear as if this choice is also the one that delivers uninterrupted supplies and less exposed to price volatility? This choice makes business sense, and this is now what we will face over the future. So I'm thrilled to see so many exhibitors here who actually now are the reliable choice, rather than what has been assumed for many years, that these are just alternatives that are green and environmentally friendly, but it is looking very different now. So do we finally understand what it means to build resilient systems and able to withstand shocks in times of a climate crisis, which is only going to intensify, building for a future that can operate within planetary boundaries? For years, or since 2011, the Future Fabrics Expo and sustainability community has been stating exactly, and goes further, of course, than just talking about supply chains and resilience. It's about decarbonizing the value chain. It's about driving sustainability as being the right and intelligent course of action. It's about being conscious of the biodiversity crisis and helping to restore oceans and soils. It's to be about guided by science, which has been taken a beating recently, and we all know that is the foundation of it all, especially when you're looking at the innovation hub that I hope you're going to have a look at as well. It all comes to light there too. So let's not forget ensuring those working in the fashion supply chain and farming communities are also treated fairly. Protecting nature is a key priority. All of these things I've just said have been essential and core to the Future Fabrics Expo for so long, and seems to really hitting home now that this is the smart choice. So since last year's Future Fabrics Expo, new studies and reports have come out stating ever more clearly that sustainability efforts can minimize costs, risks, and create value capture opportunities while supporting long-term businesses and continuity. Sustainability considerations lead industry to reduce not only their environmental and social impact, it's about compliance, including EPR fees, audits, etc., as well as manage risks and price volatility in pricing of raw materials, inputs like synthetic fertilizers, as already mentioned. But it's too often not realized what the upsides are of sustainability efforts and strategies and what it really brings along. Inefficiencies are uncovered. Water use reduction is delivered. Waste minimizations, improved material utilizations, and of course, embedded eco-design efficiencies. But crucially, value is created. New business models emerge, such as resale and all those connected to it, circular models. We've got products reinvention with next-gen materials that are free from fossil fuel and toxins. So to those who are still skeptical, I would like to bring the following to your attention. The latest figures and findings shown, actually that was a really good report by Boston Consulting Group and GFA called Fashion CFO Agenda. That report shows clearly that 20% of the fashion sector's greenhouse gas emissions can be reduced through actions that come with a positive business case. And 70% of emissions can be abated at relatively or actually low cost, as they called it. So this year at Future Fabrics Expo, you will find over 100 exhibitors and innovators across 3,000 square meters. They showcase materials from across all fiber categories. There are several curated areas that I encourage you to go and explore, delivering again on topics that matter to nature and people with a focus on, and I'm reading briefly the titles of those curated areas that you can please go and see. On the floor plan, they are marked green. Biodegradation and textile circularity, learning from nature, nature as a compass and guiding force. There is also a whole area dedicated to chemical pollution and microfibers. People and planetary health imperative to rethink fibers and finishes. There is an area for biosynthetics and the future of textiles. There is also a dedicated area to supply chains and how integrating innovation successfully can make real progress. And returning again are the footwear hub, innovation hub, interiors and lifestyle area, and the regenerative agriculture area, all dotted around amongst the thousands of materials on display. And at the center of the expo, we place the innovation hub again. You will find innovations that are free from plastics, in other words, not fossil fuel-derived materials without toxic substances, but are instead bio-based. From algae-derived fibers and microbial colorants to CO2-based polymers and fermentation-based stretch fibers. Instead of relying on petrochemicals, they draw on plants, sugars, agricultural residues, capture the emissions, and biological systems, often integrating seamlessly into existing manufacturing infrastructure. What emerges is not a single solution, but a materials landscape built on multiple pathways. Biopolymers designed to safely return to the earth, engineered proteins tailored at the molecular level, and feedstocks cultivated through regenerative farming practices. Many of these solutions are also embedded with circularity into their design, whether through chemical recyclability, fiber-to-fiber recovery, or the use of waste streams as raw material inputs. Within this context, bio-based innovation is less about substitution alone and more about redefining the logic of production itself, shifting from extractive models to regenerative, distributed, and biologically informed systems. As per our announcements, Mathieu Flamini is talking first at this year's seminar series, as he represents, well, what I just mentioned. He will tell you from his own perspective about the bio-based company he co-founded a few years ago. It's called GFBiochemicals. He is unfortunately not here today, not able to be here in person, but he sent his apologies along with a short greeting, which we'll play briefly on a video now.
Hello everybody, my name is Mathieu Flamini. I am an ex-professional athlete, but also the co-founder and CEO of GFBiochemicals. I wish I could have been today at the FFE conference with you, but unfortunately I was not able to join you. Since 2013, GFBiochemicals has developed breakthrough technology to manufacture bio-based solutions to accelerate the defossilization of the chemical industry by making everyday product safer and more sustainable. Our industry, textile, is facing today new regulations, but also new demand from consumers. This is the reason why big brands like you need to set up new standards for next generations. At GFBiochemicals, we are bringing breakthrough technologies by introducing bio-based solvent able to replace the harmful ingredients and making the finished product safer and more sustainable. Key market players have already validated the competitiveness of our product, and we're already commercializing our solutions at the global scale. Our solutions support the European ambitions for industrial defossilization, where the bioeconomy will play an important role in the sovereignty of our territory. Thank you all, enjoy, and have a great FFE conference. Thank you.
So, can't really say thank you, but I will anyway. Thank you, Mathieu, for sending this. So, as you heard, those innovative materials we just played on the video, they are pointing towards a future in which performance, scalability, and reduced environmental impact are no longer treated as competing priorities, but as interdependent outcomes of a new material paradigm. This must be our North Star, leading to a place and a systems change where we operate within planetary boundaries. It is about putting people and communities at the heart and at the center. We need to start living in harmony with nature, which we have seemingly neglected for too long. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for coming to Brussels and following us. Thank you for our partners. I think I'm clicking here. Thank you to our partners, Canopy, Textile Genesis, who are here in their own booth. EcoAge also has a booth over there. Performance Days also has a booth, and A Blue World as well. Smart Fibers, they're called, and their booth. Sustainable Angle, thank you, is the not-for-profit organization behind it, making all the educational content that you're seeing displayed possible. And of course, thank you also to all of our exhibitors. There's over 100 of them here. You can see this also over there on that big graphic if you want to take a picture and see your own logo if you're an exhibitor. There's a lot of them, and so many are returning exhibitors that we are thrilled having them here again. So thank you, everyone. Wonderful to be here again, hosting another Future Fabrics Expo, and thank you so much. We are going over straight on to the first panel discussion, which I believe will come soon. So stay seated. The first panel discussion is called Harnessing Nature to Inform New Fiber Technologies. I think they will be ready shortly, but thank you very much. And for those who are standing at the back, please come forward. There's still a few seats that you can take. Thank you so much for being here.